If you don't want to see your development as part of human evolution, that's your call, that's your choice. But as children coming through a family, we are completely dependent on that structure. And we have behaviours and attitudes as very young people to back that up. We need that support. But in that support network of being a child, we also are very limited in the way we think, in the way we behave. We are childlike. We don't understand responsibility for our behaviour. We don't understand accountability for ourselves. That's why there's laws in this land for younger people who are not treated as harsh as older people, because you don't know a lot of things when you're young. So there's a lot more leeway when we are young because of our age. And that just makes common sense, and everybody will be able to relate to that. But there comes a time during the process of growing up where we either change or we stay like that child. And that child is blaming everybody for everything, can't comprehend that their actions to things has consequences most of the time, cannot be supported or stand on its own feet to be independent, to look after itself, is reliant on a family or other people to house it, to look after it, to take care of it. And what happens in life, from my window or in general with people, is that there's a big part of us that don't grow out of those childlike behaviours. We move further down the food chain in our age and in our lives, and we're still behaving in childlike manners. We don't take any responsibility for ourselves. We blame people for ourselves. We seek support from people who want to control us. We don't understand about consequences of our actions. We don't want to become responsible for our thoughts, our actions, our decisions. It's everybody else's fault in life. And that those behaviours is really, really damaging as we grow older. If we don't understand that those actions and behaviours have severe consequences when we're not a child, then you're going to be not happy. You're going to struggle because you don't see that that was a process as a child to get to a point where one would look at themselves and go, well, wait there, I'm having a tough time. Am I participating in this tough time? Yes. I'm getting bad results from what I'm doing. Am I having a part of that interaction? Yes. I'm not progressing in making choices where I'm getting outcomes that I'm happy. Am I part of that decision making in the choice? Yes. These actions and choices that we make must one day in a person's life, if you want to find more of what you are and become more responsible and move out of the behaviours of childlike to have a lot more power and control in your life and how you shape your life and how you create the life that you want. These choices and decisions and understanding of taking control of ourselves have enormous power, but they're really hard to grab onto because we don't understand that living as a child is only for a short period of time, and we got to mature out of that to discover more about ourselves. And if we don't mature out of living as a child and living as a young person, then we will be acting like that emotionally. Like when I hit rehab in 1989, I was 26 years of age. Physically, I was 26 years of age. Emotionally, because I'd used drugs all my life and I'd lived in environments where I had to survive, emotionally, I was probably 11 years of age. I was still acting like a kid, reactive, angry, always blaming people for everything, took no responsibility for myself, was always other people's fault, didn't understand about consequences of my actions. And it's really important that we become aware of this stuff, because if we don't, living as a young person emotionally and as a child has grave consequences for an adult's future, because there's no leeway when you become an adult. People haven't got that compassion for you. People haven't got that understanding for you anymore. People treat you differently. So they don't care if you're acting like a child or if you're acting in ways where it's unproductive towards them, or they're struggling with who you are because of the inability for you to mature out of being more responsible for yourself and more adult-like. They don't care about who you are, or you acting like a victim, or you're demanding, or you might be carrying on like a pork chop, or whatever it is. They just stay away from you, you know, and that's why there's a lot of loneliness too, I think, in our societies, because we don't grow up from being the child. Nobody has come along and said, you've got to come to a point where you've got to look at yourself. You've got to come to a point where you go, wait there, I'm playing a part in this. I'm responsible for this. Because if you don't, you're going to stay behind. And the people that succeed and the people that get somewhere in life know this stuff. And they understand about their development. They look at themselves. They question themselves. They take more responsibility for what their behaviours and actions and decisions and choices. I've dealt with a lot of people, a lot of successful people in business and in all facets of success. And there's a theme in them where nobody's perfect. Like, I'm not saying because you grow up and you look at yourself, you're better than people, or you become, you know, your problems don't go away, or you don't struggle, because that's not what I'm talking about. But there's a theme in people that do good in life, and it is surrounded by, most of them see that they're responsible. Most of them see that they're accountable. Most of them see that they are making their decisions and choices and actions in their life because they know that's what's created their success. Well, most of them. So it is so important that we understand being a child and those childlike behaviours as a child that we've all had don't serve us as we grow up. They just don't, they don't help us to become better. They don't help us to become what we want, to get things, to move forward. We've got to move forward from being a child. We've got to move forward from being a teenager. It's real, because when we move forward by looking at ourselves, question our behaviours, look at our decisions and actions and choices, and dealing with our internal dialogue from the past, if that's what we've got to do, and most people have to do that anyway, talking to people, seeking help, then we can start moving to a better life, a life that we have more control in. And that's a good place to be. So the past is the past. Leave it there. Leave it there and move forward. Because if you don't leave it there, as I said, it's struggle town. It's struggle town even when you don't realise this stuff that I'm talking about. But at least when you're aware of it and you can change it, because you can change it, you're going to see things a lot more better for yourself, and things are going to happen more for you in life, I firmly believe, because it happened for me in my life. As soon as I seen this stuff, that was it. My life just went from that to maturity, and I got everything that I wanted. You take care now, have a great day, and come on, let's grow up. All right, take care.